Boom. And yes, we are live. Man, ladies and gentlemen, y'all already know, man. It's your guy, Mr. Grand Morning. Hey, back at you for this interview with my man, Mr. Michael Holmes, y'all. But hey, y'all already know, man. As you hop on, go ahead, drop your city, your state, what city, where you actually hopping on from. Cause I'm telling y'all, man, we're about to add some value to what you have going on in your life. So, man, hey, already I can tell you now, share this, like this, subscribe, ladies and gentlemen, because you want to hear, what we about to share what we about to share with y'all, okay? Man, so hey, man, the professor, man. Y'all I know, man. I got the pleasure in interviewing the professor. We call him the professor, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm telling you, man, he is very well educated and versed in everything that he does. So, man, hey, man, Mike, man, can you go ahead just kind of introduce yourself to the people?
Most definitely. And once again, guys, I don't know if anybody knows anything. Hopefully you don't know me, and that's a good thing. And I just want to turn it right back to Chauncey and just, what he's doing out here with you guys and showing you and bringing you that type of value. And I know I'm just one of the many people that he's bringing in front of you guys. And so I'm going to do my best to give that value right back because he's bringing value to the community as well. Me, myself, Michael Holmes, I've been in real estate, small business for about 25, 30 years, just depends on which area. And the biggest thing that I've been doing is just really the entrepreneurial journey, going up and down over these last 30 years and, just showing people, hey, there's a better way. And that's when I found out, what we've been into lately, which is our, shifting of income, right? So that's helping me to get back on, my feet, because if anybody is familiar with the debacle of 2009, 2010, when all the banks started getting bailed out and stuff, right? The entrepreneurs, the real estate investors, those people, we took the brunt of all of that. So I had almost 64 houses, at that point in time. And at that point, nobody came to bail us out. So I took on and lost over quite about $4 million in all together assets and stuff like that. So yeah, and that hurt. That income shifting time is where it is. So I know now to have cash flow. Before I just had income. And you think that's good. You have, a certain level of income. We were at a point to where we were doing right at 100 grand a week, gross. And so you think that, hey, it's nothing that comes about that I can't handle because I got another check coming in. But the expenditures were, way above what we were getting. We almost had 80, $90,000 a month going out, and just paying mortgages and stuff.
Oh man. Oh man. See, hey, I know you kind of peeked into there because see, a lot of people didn't just hear what you just said. So I'm gonna make sure that you can hey, if y'all ain't if you catching this on the replay, rewind it. But you ain't if you catching it live, you ain't gotta rewind it because I'm gonna ask him right now. So, Mike, with that being said, you kind of told him a little bit about it. How was your life like I said before income shifted?
Hmm. Most definitely. Before income shifting, guys, my biggest thing was to just get out there and hustle. That's what we were taught. We got the small business mindset, because we all saw, parents, grandparents, somebody that was a hustler. And so that was my biggest thing, just to go out there and make income. And, over the years, I acquired a lot of houses, so I thought that I was okay, right? But the thing is, my cash flow was not to the point to where it could help me. I was spending way more than I was making, and that was going out in different areas, not to mention the other things that were just taken away. So before my econ, yes, I was hustling and going to get it. But as you saw or told you earlier, I lost it all because I didn't have the foundations in place. Now after everything is in place now. So I have the particular functions where my cash flow, the cash flow manager, is in place. I have my goals in place so that now I can go after the income, right? And with going after this income, now I know that I've made the cash flow to where I have assets to take care of my expenses now. So when I was retired at 24, That was my fake retirement. Now I'm going after my real retirement.
Oh, y'all heard him, right? Y'all heard him. He said that was his fake retirement. Now he going after the real deal, y'all. Hey, man. See, they ain't ready, man. They ain't ready.
Mm-mm,
So,
mm-mm.
man, hey, you shared a little bit with him about cash flow, and I just want to make sure the listeners do understand that, man. See, when we talk about cash flow, ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand the fact that the cash flow is like the money that you actually have, okay, left over, things like that. That you're not living that check to check lifestyle, okay. So when you have cash flow, I take it from the good book. How they talk about you able to live in abundance. Okay.
Mhm.
So having that extra cash flow, ladies and gentlemen, is powerful. Is powerful. So it kind of leads into my next question, of course, is how was your life after income shifting?
Most definitely. Now everything is, I know where I'm going. Before I was just, like I said, hustling and grabbing money, hoping to pull it into something, that was falling out, So, but now after, the income shifting, I have a game plan. I can actually plug in and say, okay, hey, 2 years from now, this is where I'm going to be. Right. And then if I get an extra amount of income, guess what I can do? I don't have to think about whether I need to put it on this rental home or whether I need to put it on this particular card, or, I know where exactly I need to put it. And so that frees my mind to be creative and to do all the things that's necessary. So after income shifting, it's like, it's a whole new world. You think, and I'm talking to all you guys that, have had businesses. I've been running brick and mortar businesses forever. I've been in the different functions and stuff like that, where you are let's say for instance we had $80,000 a month going in, and out rather, so I understand what you go through, and I understand, the ins and outs. But if you don't have that, let me put it this way: if your profit and loss statement, right, is
Mm,
not in a place to where, right, if you don't even know what I'm talking about, profit and loss statement,
mm.
now you really understand. That's what income shifting has taught me. So now I understand where I'm headed. I got a game plan. I got a GPS. I got a financial blueprint. I'm very excited about what's happening now.
Oh man. See, man, I hope they understand it, because a lot of people, they hear the stories about rental properties, and everybody, they'll say, yeah, oh yeah, I just want to get me a couple of rentals, but really don't know some of the ins and outs behind the scenes.
Mhm.
So man, hey, what are some things that people really don't understand about rental properties, and some of the obstacles that they have to be prepared for?
Most definitely. I mean, that's a great question because I see a lot of it going around. I've seen a lot of it for a long time, and enough to where I would start just giving out free advice and just record things so that people cannot get into those pitfalls. But the biggest thing I see is you're buying a home based upon the advice of, there's nothing wrong with realtors, don't get me wrong, but a lot of times realtors, they want to make the money on the purchase. And so they're not real estate investors. So their goal is not to say, hey, that's not a good deal. Their goal is just simply
Mm,
say, hey, I don't know, here's this. Let me sell this to you, right? And it's not their fault. And so the biggest thing is, it'll be like the numbers. Let's say you get $100,000 home, and you see you can get it for 80,000. And a lot of people would think, oh man, that's $20,000 worth of profit there. That's probably a good deal. No, it's not. It's nowhere near a good deal. Okay. And see, that's the biggest thing that we got to see. You got to use a certain formula, and it's not a hard formula. You just got to know what the banks are looking for. Because the thing is, if you have a decrease in the market, you have to buy prepared for the decrease that's going to happen. It's not will it, won't happen. It's going to happen,
mm,
right? So you got to buy in advance for that. So you got to think about, okay, am I buying for a rental? Am I buying for a rehab to rent? Am I buying for resale? There are what we call exit strategies, and the, what we see on TV is just all size fits all. and that's getting so many people in trouble because you get $100,000 house, and now what happens with COVID? Now you got a decrease
Ooh.
in the market, and then also you lost money, because maybe the paycheck didn't come or you had to go work from home for something. But whatever, when you buy it this way, you're prepared. But now you owe $100,000 on a property that's only worth 90,
Mm.
and stuck. So guys, yeah, definitely be aware of how you buy. You have to make your beforehand. Okay.
Whoa, man. See, hey, look at it. Hey, they don't understand the free game that you just gave them right there, and the numbers that you just shared with them, and how a lot of people are looking at it. Because oh man, I know people personally who have looked at a deal and just like, oh man, yeah, I can go ahead and make, like you say, that quick $20,000, but
Mhm.
don't understand the ins and outs. They only see the upfront, the price tag number,
That's right.
and and that hurts them. That hurts them big time, big
Mhm.
time.
You think
Now,
about down payment costs, even in that situation, if you got to put down $10,000 on that property, now that's eating into your $20,000 profit already.
mm, mm, mm. Now, I know you had shared with me before we came on too. Uh can you kind of expound a little bit too about how income shifting kind of help you with, I guess, put you in position to pay off rentals even quicker?
Hmm. Most definitely, and the income shifting guys, what that really did was because we have a personal cash flow plan. Okay. And it simply tells you, oh my God, it's so simple. It says you, okay, hey, make sure you're doing this before you do this, right? So you out of debt before you get to a certain place of buying a home, right? Or going into investing. So when you know that and you situated that, that's what helps me. So now I don't have any debt. So now my rental properties, any types of income I have, I don't have to, like we said before, I don't have to guess about it. Now I can say roll it over with the software that we have, Mr. Graham Morning. The software we have, I can plug in, new changes into what I've had happen. When the COVID happened, I had to change it, for the worst, but I was able to maintain, right? So now
Hmm.
with everything that I have now, you can plug your numbers in, and now the home that I have my four that I have listed in there. So now I know exactly where to put that particular money that I have coming in. And it tells me, hey, don't do that, right? Because you have this still to go, right? So now I can put all that money on this particular home and get it knocked out. Now I got equity over here if I need to do anything further. That's pure cash flow, ladies and gentlemen. So, yes, it's exciting.
Ooh. He said, hey, y'all didn't hear him. He said about the equity.
Mhm.
Hey, when you got the equity, ladies and gentlemen, that's that extra cash flow that definitely gonna help come in. But hey, I can't let him slide by some of the things that y'all not catching. What he's saying is, he said no debt. Man, ladies and gentlemen, how would your life be like if you had no debt? What would that allow you to actually do more of when you don't have debt, ladies and gentlemen, or when you're a fiercely trying to eliminate your debt? Man, hey, when you get there to that promised land, because you have a plan in place. Y'all didn't hear him when he said, okay, COVID hit. He went back to his plan to make sure that it was still on the right path. Man, what?
No, it's everything. It's everything, Chauncey. You don't know how much that is. People call people for advice and consulting all the time, and we have the consultant consistently in our software. It tells us exactly what to do.
Mm, mm, mm. See, man, oh man. So see, people are always talking about the rentals, but like you say, they might not have the money down.
Hmm.
They go in with no kind of cash flow whatsoever,
Hmm.
but they want to jump into a rental so quickly. I guess if you don't mind sharing, what are some things that you've witnessed with rentals? or with some of your rental I ain't say participants, but some of
Mhm.
your rental, some people that rent it from you. What are some of the horror stories that you could probably share with people? Things that they should be aware of.
Most definitely, and it's a great thing that you asked that, because it's not when, or if you're going to go through a challenge. You're going to go through the challenge. They're going to move out and put holes in your wall, right? They're going to slip and fall and try to sue you. It's just going to happen, right? So you got to be ready. You got to have the insurance. You got to have all those things. So it's like when COVID happened, we had a lot of people,
Mm.
to move out, to stop doing what they were doing that produced income for us. Okay. So because I was not in debt like I was before in 2010 and lost everything, now I wasn't in debt. So now I could take the other money, the income that I was making over here, and funnel it over here to help out the lost business causes that fail, or the rental properties that people have moved out and left crap in, right? So I gotta take care of that. So that's what happens when the rental property. So when you buy it right, then you're ready. Like you say, you're out of your particular debt, so you can move things over here when things are dipping. You can help out and dig and help get this up out, right? But you have multiple streams like we've been taught, Mr. Reed. So when you have multiple streams, guess what? I'm okay. I can just, like you said, look at my plan, and now everything is good. So the rental things that you guys will go into, just be ready for that. Just have 3 months set to the side of your of income that will take care of your monthly note. So if it's a $500 monthly note, then you should have $1,500. That's not your mini emergency fund. That's not your emergency fund. That's your house emergency fund. Okay, so you gotta have those things in place too. That help. That's a lot.
Oh, y'all didn't hit a game he just dropped on y'all. Cause be, eh, because what he just said, okay, it's a few things, man. He got me over here taking a plethora of notes. Hey, he said when COVID hit, y'all, and the people moved out, everybody heard of the stories. Hey, man, that's why I wanted to bring, man, hey, the professor on and share with us some true insight. So you're not just hearing it from the news and stuff like that, but you're able to hear it from a person. And of course, man, hey, if y'all have questions, man, drop it in the comments. But he said when COVID hit, because he had the cash flow and no debt, and because he bought it outright, he bought it the right way, he was able to take care of that without having to worry about something. And y'all didn't hear what else he said. He said about the emergency fund. He said, yes, no, he got his own personal emergency fund, but he also have his house, his rental emergency fund, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, he said those were two separate funds. So you can't mix the two. Okay, the mic right there, man. Hey, he didn't sit up here and share it with y'all straight game. Man, y'all, he just shared with y'all some game. And I hope you understand the power of when we talk about financial education and just understanding that when you have your foundation set, when your foundation is taken care of, those emergency funds, like he's talking about, not just for your houses, but also for your personal, you got that foundation set. When things happen, everything don't just crumble.
Mhm.
Because I know people have, you probably talked to a couple of other realtors who had some horror, complete horror stories when COVID hit. Man,
Mhm.
shoot, I gotta ask. Hey, do you mind sharing probably some of the worst stories that you've probably heard from other realtors
Mhm.
or people with rental properties?
Oh, most definitely. The biggest thing that I'm hearing, nowadays is that even though like we had the emergency fund, okay, COVID lasted a lot longer than those 3 months. So it was the education that helped, because we went down. Honestly, I took dips in my credit. My partners, we all took dips in our credit and stuff like that. So, but we have education to help us to come up out of that, right? And so, what I've heard with everybody else with the rental properties is the problem of having the people to move out. Okay, because this is what generally happens. People are now, because they don't have a plan, they're using the rental income as frivolous. Okay, it's not for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? They were doing like I did previously. So they were taking the income, and instead of actually dedicating it for the house, it's over here, for whatever cash. You know what I'm saying? Trash. They got cash and they got some trash, right? And so now the people are moving out, and now it's going to take an extra $5,000-$10,000 to get everything right, okay, in the house. And so now you don't have this extra 5 or 10, and because your business wasn't built in the right way, they weren't able to grab the money that's going around, the PPP, the EIDLs, to help us to support, right? So now they got to sell a house. A house, it may be, let's just use these numbers here, it may be like $100,000, right? But because they can't repair and they can't do the types of things, they got to sell it for 30-40 grand. You see what I'm saying? Because people are smart now. They're not going to buy your house at retail, right? Because it needs fixing, it needs this, it needs that. So now you got to either bring money to the table, or you got to make it sweet enough to actually make it worth something. So you made all this money, 2-3 years of having a property. Now COVID came and it exposed the lack of foundation. That's what's happening, Johnson. It's the lack of foundation. Everybody's going to say, hey, do this, shiny thing. Go, yeah, get you some property. Yeah. Now what? Right? So those are the biggest ones. They're losing $20,000-$30,000 on a property that they shouldn't even have lost anything.
Oh my gosh, man. Oh, and then they end up being back at square one.
Yeah.
Or probably even worse. Wow.
But guess who
Man.
scooped them up? Yeah. We come back and scoop those up though. So those of us that have cash flow strong and they understand credit is good. Now we come and grab those pieces of property.
See, hey, y'all didn't hear too what he talked about with if you got the cash flow and the good credit, man, hey, that's a double whammy for him, man. That's a double whammy. Oh my goodness, man. Oh man, bro, man. Thank you for just taking some time out, man, and just sharing this with with the audience and whatnot, man. I gotta ask you this just to make sure I put it in the comments. But hey, man, if somebody wants to reach out to you, man, and what's I guess some of your different social media handles?
Most definitely. The first biggest one I want to tell everybody is the Facebook, the free group where we give out education tips and stuff like that on real estate, credit, business, whatever it may be. But that's the at My Econ Purpose. It's the Facebook group. So facebook.com, My Econ Purpose. Okay. That'll take you right to our Facebook group. Okay. Other than that, if you want to reach out to us, the home site is whyincomeshift.info. whyincomeshift.info, and you'll learn more about income shifting and more about what we are as purpose pursuers in Real University. And always, Chauncey, I appreciate you. It's very rare that people are selfless enough to actually share the stage. So I really appreciate you, mister. Really appreciate you.
Oh man, thank you, fam, because again, man, somebody needed to hear this, man. Somebody needed to hear this. And I understand too the fact that they gotta hear it from other perspectives than just my voice. And man, thank you for taking your time out, man. And y'all, man, if y'all catching this on the replay, man, hashtag replay, drop your city and state, man. Again, share this with somebody, like this, love this. Hey, subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Again, man, this your guy, Mr. Grand Morning, y'all, man. Y'all already know. Y'all have a great day and a blessed week, man. Peace.